when I first started playing, I joined my brother's cricket club and no girls had played there before, and actually girls weren't allowed to play there. Thankfully, the people who were in charge down there let me play, and it's amazing to see now that there's at least 150,000 girls playing team sport in school.
Hello, I'm Chris Stafford. The England Cricket Board, England Hockey and England Netball have collaborated to launch a 3-year campaign to maximise the legacy of hosting 3 consecutive World Cups and build a fan base for women's team sports. With an ambitious target to ensure all 7 to 13-year-old girls across the country have the opportunity to experience the benefits of team sport, the Team Up initiative includes a novel rewards scheme for schools and teachers. One of the players who is helping to promote this initiative is England cricketing all-rounder Georgia Elwiss. Georgia began her cricketing career with Staffordshire before moving to Sussex at the start of the 2011 season when she made her international debut. An MCC young cricketer in 2010 and 2011, she was called up as bowling cover for the injured Jenny Gunn during the 2011 Quadrangular Series, but while she didn't get to play in the series, she was included in the squad for the South African tour that autumn. She was selected again for the series against India in 2012 and took 6 wickets across the series, including 3 for 17 in the final one-day international, and was named Player of the Series. It earned her a World Cup call-up in early 2013. And then in 2016, she made her maiden international 50 on tour in South Africa to help England to a series-clinching 5-wicket victory. Having featured in the 2016 World 2020, she was named as the captain of Loughborough Lightning in the inaugural Kia Super League. And Georgia also took over as Sussex captain for the 2016 season in the absence of Sarah Taylor. Georgia says going through all the tough sessions and winning tournaments and games makes it worthwhile. The team aspect of it is my favourite. And Georgia joins me now from the team training camp in Loughborough. Georgia, welcome to the programme.
Thank you very much for having me on.
Well, we're going to talk about your involvement in this and why you're passionate about joining this campaign, the Team Up Challenge, joining hockey and netball. But first, before we talk about your background in the sports and why you chose cricket, Georgia, talk a little bit about what you're doing now, because you were born and raised in Leicestershire, of course, playing for Loughborough as well. Then you went to Sussex and obviously play for England. Give us a little snapshot of what you're doing right now.
Yeah, so we're preparing for our World Cup this summer. So the girls have had a busy winter. We were in Sri Lanka and the West Indies before Christmas, and then some of us split off and went over and played in Australia, and some of us had time off, and so we've all just come back together again, and now we're working towards the World Cup, which is in June, July time. So we're all training over in Loughborough. That's where the National Centre is. So we all go in there each week and have sessions there and are getting prepared.
Right. Well, this Team Up campaign is, as I said, a 3-year campaign to maximise the legacy of the 3 consecutive home World Cups and to help build a fan base. But I'd imagine, even at the time that you've been playing cricket, you've seen an increase in the popularity and the access for girls coming into the sport, Georgia. Talk a little bit about what your observations have been about the growth of cricket.
Yeah, absolutely. So when I first started playing, I joined my brother's cricket club, and no girls had played there before, and actually girls weren't allowed to play there. So I came along, and thankfully the people who were in charge down there let me play, and it's amazing to see now that there's at least 150,000 girls playing team sport in school. You know, there's so many women's and girls only cricket clubs as well. So not only are girls growing up playing with boys, they're growing up playing with other girls, and they've got their own girls' teams and leagues, and that filters through, and that makes success at the top end. I guess that brings that success at the top end, and going to international games over the summer and seeing the fan base that we've now got, and even domestically, we launched our Super League last season, and we were getting great crowds there that I think wasn't expected. And the fact that we're going to be having that competition televised as well is brilliant. this summer. So, the growth of women's cricket and women's sport in general is great to see. But in particular, I guess I've noticed the change, in cricket and in the fan base that we have now.
Well, no doubt the professionalism now that you play in that world, which is a whole new world for a lot of us who played in the past. Now the opportunities are there for you guys and to be professional, and compare that with, say, Australia and New Zealand, those other leading cricketing nations too. Do you feel that you have the edge on them in terms of professionalism, or are you still sort of catching up and trying to compete with them in terms of the opportunities once you reach that level and can play for England, have been selected?
Yeah, no, absolutely. The ECB and are brilliant supporters of us and have given us, the chance to be professional sportswomen, and that's only come in the last 3 years, which is fantastic for us. And it just means, all the support that they provide us means that we can train full time. And actually, sometimes we get it better than the likes of Australia and New Zealand, because we are centrally contracted and we can all come together each week. And I know that's because of location. And obviously in Australia and New Zealand, they're all in different states. But the support that's behind us now and all the money that they're pumping into it is brilliant for us, and it's a real platform that we have. And we feel so lucky to be able to be professional sportswomen, and it's great that girls playing now can look up to cricketers and think, gosh, yeah, I can make a career out of this.
Well, certainly now the wonderful opportunities out there for girls coming into the sport. Let's go back to your childhood, Georgia, and you went to school at Wolverhampton Girls High School and then got into Loughborough University. But I want to go back to those early days when you started playing sports. Did you have a go at hockey? Did you have a go at netball? At what sort of level you played there? And ultimately then why you chose cricket?
Yeah, so growing up, I played a whole number of sports, mainly because of my older brother. He was really sporty. He loved his football, his rugby, his cricket, and I played those long before I went to high school. And then I obviously went to a high school which was just for girls. So a lot of the sports that were available there were, netball, hockey, athletics, your generic female-driven sports, I guess. And I never played cricket at school, but as I was there, that was introduced, and one of my cricket coaches came in and set up a cricket club, which was brilliant. And then by the time I was leaving school, there were, football clubs, there were rugby clubs, there were all sorts of different sporting opportunities for girls, which was brilliant.
Now, what was it about cricket then that said, okay, I can play all these other sports, lots of opportunities, really absorbed in that world of opportunities for girls playing sports at school. But what was the defining moment for you that said, no, cricket's my sport?
I think, to be honest, if I'm being really truthful, it was, for me, it was between rugby and cricket. And I was choosing between, getting up in the cold winter mornings and going out and getting really muddy, or playing a sport where you stood in the sunshine, with all your mates. So I think at that age that had quite a large sway for me, but I'm glad I did pick cricket because I haven't looked back since. And, it's just, I've met so many amazing people and had the chance to travel to so many amazing countries that I'm really glad that I did.
When did you realise that you had a talent for it, though? Because here you are, batsman and a bowler. You're a good all-rounder, medium fast. How did you hone it down, your skills, Georgia? When was the first time that you actually realised you really did have, what it takes to become a professional one day?
Do you know, I don't really know, to be honest. I think as I was growing up, I was just enjoying, the pure enjoyment of the game, and I was as good as the boys that I was playing with. And I think that got me noticed to a large extent. People saying, gosh, they've got a girl in their team, but actually, she can hold her own. And I think that gave me a little bit of confidence moving forward. And then I moved into, some county and international age group setups, and I could find that I held my own there as well. And with that training and I guess the games that surrounded that year upon year, I just built on it. And then, we had this fantastic opportunity to be professional. And at the time I was lucky enough to be at Loughborough University, which, allowed me to almost be a professional sportswoman alongside my studies. And from that, I really grew and have been lucky enough to do it as a career.
Well, you certainly have, and I'm wondering, now with this campaign, if you're not tempted to get on the netball court or back on the hockey pitch, do you get those opportunities? Because I know there's some players, we've talked to some down under, who do combine two sports now, cricket and another. In the off-season, do you like to dabble in any other sports?
Oh, I'd love to, but I haven't played in so long that I don't think I'd be any good at them anymore. But sometimes we have a muck around playing a bit of netball and playing a bit of football in our warm-ups. But I think because we're so consumed by cricket all year round, we don't get that much opportunity to, which is sad because I would like to. We had a team-up event in London watching England netball play, and we had a little go at some hockey dribbling and some netball, but I think that showed me that I need to put that away for a while and concentrate on the cricket.
Yeah, you went along to that quad series, didn't you, at Wembley to cheer them on a little bit as well?
Yeah, absolutely. It was such a brilliant atmosphere, and I think with it being indoors as well, that you could really, really feel the crowd get behind them, and it was such a good game. I think they lost by one, but it was so tight, and it was just great to see so many girls there and getting behind England, and hopefully they can do the same for us this summer.
Okay, so what would be your elevator pitch then, Georgia, if you had to persuade anyone to take up cricket?
I think they're all team sports. You're all going to get a chance to play with your mates and have that camaraderie and that teamwork. But in cricket, you get to show off by yourself for a little bit, and you get to take the stage as well. So you get the chance to do both there, and I think that's quite nice in cricket. What
do you personally, Georgia, now at this point in your career, value most about being involved in sports and what it means to you?
I think the friendships that I've made and the places that we've been able to travel to, when you look back or when you have some time away from cricket and you look at, what you're able to do with your life, it's fantastic that you're actually playing the sport you love, and you're traveling to some amazing countries and you're with some of your best mates. And I think it's that, that camaraderie that you develop, and going through all the tough sessions and then winning tournaments and games, and that makes it worthwhile. So I think, the team aspect of it is my favourite.
Okay, I'm going to put you on the spot here now. Which do you prefer, batting or bowling?
I'm going to say batting, but I don't think my bowling coach is going to be very happy about that.
No, maybe not. Well, let's pretend they're not listening. Okay, so before I let you go, Georgia, tell us what you would consider then to be, say, your top 3 career highlights to date.
I think winning the Ashes series in Australia in 2013 would always be a highlight. I've always wanted to play in an Ashes series growing up, and that was that was a pretty special tournament. On a personal level, I've won a Player of the Series award in one of my first series, which was brilliant as well. And then I think third, I'm going to say when I came back from being dropped and all that hard work and the disappointment of getting dropped, and the resilience you have to show to come back from it and to really push for your case to go forward. So I guess the highs and the lows are always going to be there, but it's how you deal with them, isn't it?
Well, that's obviously very important, isn't it? It's what makes you a sportswoman and a winner. But do you find you now have a strategy for dealing with those big disappointments when you are dropped? It can be very demoralising. You think, well, when will I ever come back? Do you have a way of dealing with that, Georgia?
I think each time it happens, it's really different, and it is a really difficult situation to be in. And I think the more it happens, I guess, the worse it is in a way, but the better you get to deal with it, because you've got to put the team first, and sometimes it might not even be something of form. It might be a little injury, or it might just be the balance or the makeup of the team, and it's important to level and to be a real team player and make sure that you're really behind those 11 that go out on the field. So it's never easy, but I guess you've got to have those ways to deal with it yourself.
Absolutely. What doesn't kill you makes you stronger.
Absolutely. There you go.
All right. Well, tell us where you're going to go next. What we should look forward to then in the upcoming weeks as the season gets underway there in England, Georgia, and as you say, you're busy training there in Loughborough. But what does your schedule look like for the next few months?
Yeah, so over the next 3 weeks we're going to be in Loughborough, and then we have a training camp over in Abu Dhabi, and the facilities over there are amazing. We went over there in October, so we're going to go back there for 3 weeks and play some internal games, which will be good for us going into our season, and then we'll go into our domestic for the majority of May, and then the World Cup kicks off in June. So, I mean, we've got a busy year this year. We've got the Ashes coming up as well after the World Cup, so I think the focus for now is going to be on preparing for that World Cup and giving it a really good go.
Absolutely. All right. Well, we're gunning for you, Georgia, and hopefully you have a fantastic season ahead. As you say, it's going to be a busy one.
Thank you. Thanks.
And thank you for taking the time to come on the programme. We really appreciate it. And for your contribution to the Team Up Challenge, Georgia. Thank you so much.
No, thank you for having me. Thank you.
And you can find some useful links to this campaign in our show notes accompanying this episode at wispsports.com, where you'll find more conversations from the world of women's sports, including blogs, articles, videos, and over 600 episodes of our podcast. And you too can join in the conversation by following us on social media at Wisp Sports or contacting us here at info@wispsports.com. Until the next time, thanks for listening.